Good morning, everyone, and welcome to session 2 of the Global Sports PD High Performance Summit. It's great to have you all here this morning or this afternoon, wherever in the world that you may be. Firstly, before we kick off with the next speaker, if you do have any questions, feel free to direct them to the Q&A function on your screens. Particular thanks to all our partners, and we're lucky enough to have our major partner here with us this morning in HP Cosmos and AI Medical that are going to present to us on some of what they do, and we've got their sports scientist and general manager with us, Alex. So thanks for being here, Alex. We're looking forward to hearing your presentation, and I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you very much, Sam, and hello everyone. I send you best regards and greetings from good cold Germany to down under. You have just started your day, and we're about to finish our day. You're ahead of time. But I'm more than happy to share our session with you and to bring latest information and experience about running applications, sports science to you. We do this together with our local partner in Australia with AI Medical. That's our local partner, and yeah, we're happy to have now around 45 minutes to share this presentation with you, and I will switch directly into my presentation. We try to make it interesting for you and also vivid and lively, and we have included a lot of videos that better demonstrates how to use special devices in running, and especially, of course, treadmills. Please let me share my screen with you. One second, not yet. So I hope you should be able to see my screen right now. Yeah, let me introduce me first. My name is Alexander Böck. I'm a sports scientist and managing director of the company HP Cosmos. We are also active in Australia since many years, and would like to share now this presentation with you. Let me rush through the agenda for the next 45 minutes approximately. I will give you some basic information about our company, about treadmill solutions, because that's exactly where we come from. So we are a German treadmill manufacturer, and today I would like to share with you how modular treadmills can be and how to pimp your treadmill for sports science. When I say sports science, let's talk about performance diagnostics. That's one of the major applications where treadmills are used in sports science, but also sports rehab, return to play, overspeed training, gait and motion analysis, biomechanics, especially with a focus on 3D force measurement, and also talking about oversize applications. Here you will see a couple of pictures concerning performance diagnostics, a return to play, gait and motion analysis, biomechanics, and then oversized treadmill application. Yeah, HP Cosmos, as said, is a German treadmill manufacturer with more than 30 years experience in making treadmills for very special clients, as you will see later. We are located in the southern part of Germany, near Munich, and we are a small company, but we believe to be a hidden champion. So we only have around 60 employees, and we have our own development and own production in Germany, and make approximately around 800 treadmills per year, but very special treadmills for dedicated markets. And of course, we have a worldwide distribution network, and AI Medical is our local partner in Australia. Our concentration is purely on ergometers, on treadmill solutions, and that will be the topic of today's speech. Yeah, what are our main activities? where we come from is actually from the sports market, and so that's why sports, and especially elite sports, is one of our major markets, with treadmills for Olympic training centers worldwide, for sports universities, but as well for professional clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona, for example, in soccer, and of course also industry. The second market that is related to sports is the biomechanics. So let's call it sports biomechanics market, where we offer instrumented treadmills in all different kinds of instrumentation, starting from pressure distribution, optical LED sensors, up to high-end 3D measurements. And one of our second biggest markets is surely rehabilitation, because our treadmills are also used in rehab to help people learn walking again. So this is surely one major market as well. Yeah, if we talk about treadmills, most people, they know treadmills from fitness gyms. They have a size of 150 by 50. And for most people, treadmill is a treadmill. But today I would like to point out that treadmills can be very special for certain markets. So treadmills, of course, is for running, and this will be also, of course, the topic for today. But we have treadmills in many different kinds of configurations and accessories, and of course also in terms of size, as you can see here in this two videos. And this, of course, is a very important point, because when we talk about sports science or elite sports, then we always have to consider that the taller a person is, or an athlete is, and the faster an athlete runs, the larger the treadmill needs to be. And we need to find out the right treadmill size and configuration for each application. And this leads to the next point, that is the modularity. So depending on the need, depending on the goal that you want to achieve in sports science at your facility, either at the sports university, or in a Gait lab, or in a professional sports club, you need to identify, what do I want to achieve, and why and how should I use a treadmill with my athletes. And as you can see in some of those pictures, we can configure our treadmills in many, many different ways, and they are very modular, and we can adapt it according to your needs. Let me go through a couple of those puzzle pieces. First of all, it's important to have the right size. As I mentioned, in elite sports, where we have professional athletes running high speed, and basketball players that are quite tall, we need to offer, and we offer, larger treadmills. So we have treadmills for normal standard size of 150 by 50 up to 450 by 3 meters. And you will see a couple of videos today showing those different sizes. So size is a very important factor, as well as speed. So if we talk about Usain Bolt, his maximum speed is approximately 45 kilometers per hour. And if we want to simulate a sprint training on a treadmill, then for example, we need a high speed of, let's say, 40 kilometers per hour, or 45 kk, and we want to achieve this speed in a very rapid way with a high acceleration. So we offer treadmills up to maximum speed of 80 kilometers per hour. This is not for running, of course not. It's more for cycling, but it should show that we have a starting speed of 0.1 up to 40, 50, 60, 80 kilometers per hour in a very high acceleration. So the acceleration, as I said, is an important factor to simulate not only sprintings, but also if you have graded profiles, you want to decelerate and you want to accelerate quickly in order not to lose a lot of time during the stopping period. We have a lot of safety features, and this is a very important factor that we will see later in the video, that if you have an athlete on your treadmill and you do, for example, a max test or a CPAT test, and they have to push the limit, you want to make sure that they are still safe, even so they lose their coordination, for example. So we offer safety arches, for example, with a fall stop, with a chest belt, so that they are still safe in the system, even so they are falling basically. This can be, of course, combined as well with body weight support systems. We have systems for climate chambers. It's not. It's quite getting popular that facilities in sports science want to put their treadmills into, for example, climate chambers where they go from -30° to +55 degrees. So different temperature, different temperature areas, as well as altitude or humidity. So those are definitely temperatures and tough environmental conditions that require a special configuration of the treadmill, because we cope, of course, for example, with high humidity, with water, and we need to avoid that there is any water getting into the electrical parts of the treadmill, for example. You want to connect, and that's the future, of course. You want to connect external devices to your treadmills, starting with CPAT systems or ECG or EMG. In all our treadmills, they have separate interfaces, RS-232 interfaces, and USB ports to connect external devices that then control the treadmill and do the testing, for example. Elevation is an interesting topic. Of course, we have elevation, but we have also downhill applications. So you can run downhill up to -35%. And this is also important, that if you want to simulate, for example, muscle pain, you have the ability to run downhill. And of course, we have a lot of options that grew over the last 30 years to offer a lot of different configurations and with a high flexibility. Yeah, at the end of the day, we offer a concept, not a product. We offer a solution to your clients, to our clients in sports science. And this brings us to performance diagnostics, because this is definitely the most important part for us in sports science, with clients all around the world, as well as the Australian Institute of Sports, for example, where they test regularly their athletes or their players. And here I chose one treadmill that I would like to configure for today. It's called the Pulsar 3P. It's a treadmill, for a high performance treadmill with 400 volts that can reach 40 kilometers per hour or higher. That has a very large running surface of 190 by 65. So it's not only longer than any other treadmill that probably you have seen on the market, it's also wider than most of the treadmills. So it has a very comfortable running size. It has a high speed, as mentioned. It has a high acceleration. It has, of course, connectivity to external devices, and a safety arch harness, a harness system that provides a lot of safety to the runner, of course, but as well to you as the institute, because you want to make sure that your athletes are safe in the complete safety system. And of course, accuracy is an important part. When you look at the accuracy of lactate devices or CPAT devices or ECG, you should also consider, of course, that the 10.5 kilometers per hour is on the treadmill. That is also 10.5. So the accuracy is very high on our treadmills. We use a special speed sensors to have this high accuracy. Let me share with you one video of clients that are using those devices in their daily use. I hope it's still a kind of fluid, this video. This is a professional football club in Germany. It's Bayern Munich. That's my club, and they test those players in the professional team, but as well with the youngsters in the youth academy 4 or 5 times a year. This is Barcelona. Of course, they also do their CPAT testing and cardiac testing with all their players, using also the safety system, and of course the high speed application. This is an interesting. Oh, I lost. This is an interesting video because, as you can see, this is a football match, and this is a sports science application from the sports university in Cologne. They try to simulate the same running profile of a player of the first division team in Germany, and to simulate it on the treadmill in combination with the CPAT system. So we are able to import or export those profiles from the pitch to the treadmill, and we can offer exactly the same acceleration that Messi or any other professional football player is doing on the pitch. We can simulate on the treadmill. So this offers universities or sports science labs the possibility to simulate different profiles on treadmills. And not only football, for example, if you would like to simulate the world record run of Usain Bolt on the treadmill, then this is of course also possible. Here you see a sports university in Cologne. They're using the safety arch for a sprinting session, and those runners are all falling into the system, and you can see how quickly the treadmill immediately stops once they fall into the system. So it offers great safety for the athletes. And this is, by the way, that's James Bond also doing their tests on the same treadmill. But coming back to the safety of the system. If your athlete know that they are safe in the system on the treadmill, running high speed, they will go to the maximum limit. If they feel like they are unsafe on the treadmill and they might get injured once they stumble or once they fall, they will never go to the limit. And I think that's an important point also in sports science, to offer a couple of options that enables the athlete to go to the maximum limit. Another possibility, it's exactly the same treadmill. And as I said, we're gonna pimp this treadmill, this Pulsar treadmill, this 190 by 65 centimeter treadmill in different configurations. Especially for post-surgery rehab, we offer the same treadmill in combination with a body weight support system that you can see on the left side. It's a dynamic system where the athlete can either use neoprene shorts or pants, or a vest, basically a vest, and can start an early rehab with a reduced weight. So we can unload the athlete on the treadmill and giving him less pressure on the joints and on the muscular system. And interesting, it's also that this can be used in combination with those expander technology that we call expander rubber walk, that is attached at the front side, at the rear side of the treadmill, and that can give either resistance to the athlete or can support the gait. And this is an interesting and very valuable device in rehabilitation. I also have one video for that. This is, for example, a football player that had a knee injury, and they start using this body weight support system in combination with a treadmill, and they can do not only running in one direction, they can turn 360 degrees. and also work on coordination skills. The same applies to the RoboWalk expander. That is then the next video. This athlete is using the expander system running backwards, but also sidewards, and putting resistance on the legs and actually forcing the athlete to use certain muscle groups, and but also work on his coordination skills. I have also mentioned overspeed training. Of course, if you unload an athlete, then you obviously are able to run faster and to reach a higher frequency. This is one client from the US using this high-speed treadmill in combination with the body weight support and speeding up the treadmill. So this girl here, for example, is jumping on a treadmill with high speed up to approximately 28, 30 kilometers per hour, just for a couple of seconds. Also to initiate the neural system. And of course, you can do the same exercises as before, or even run backwards. Or running downhill. So the treadmill now is elevated, and the athlete can run downhill by using a reverse mode. So the belt is moving in the other direction. I mentioned already that we are taking always the Pulsar 3P, so this treadmill as the basis, and we add different options to the treadmill. If we go into the field of Gait Motion Analysis, we can use this Pulsar 3P and incorporate into under the deck a pressure distribution platform. And that has then about more than 12,000 sensors, a sampling rate of 300 Hertz. And you can do not only stance analysis, but also synchronize it with videos. You can do visual, acoustic cueing, and run virtual reality. In the picture here, you can see the sensors and how it looks like when someone is running on the treadmill. And the nice thing is, right after that, you get a complete evaluation about the footprints of your athletes. You get an analysis of the complete geometry, starting with the foot rotation, comparing left and right side exactly in degrees. So you get really quantitative data. Also step lengths in centimeters, stance phases in percentage, and swing phase in percentage, left and right side. And of course, also the butterfly diagram. Let me see if I can quickly switch to the software. Second. I hope you can see the software right now. This is the software where you can see someone walking on the treadmill. And on the left side, you see the platform with the pressure distribution. And also with the gait line. And here you see some force and pressure curves. So we are back on the presentation, and I would like to go to the next application with the same treadmill. that you can pimp with a optical LED bar. That's with the OptoJump or the Oplogait. It's a mobile solution that you can easily attach to the treadmill. It has around 144 sensors, sampling rate of 1000 Hertz. And the interesting thing here is that you can use the treadmill also not only for analysis, but as well as for biofeedback training. What you can see here. So you see the Oplogait bar can be easily attached to the treadmill with a magnetic holder, the OptoFix. You attach it laterally on the treadmill, and then you get the athlete running on the treadmill. You have a complete analysis with this LED bars. It's a kind of light barrier carpet. And in the front of the treadmill, if you use a screen, you can choose as a biofeedback, for example, the stance phase or the step length. And then your athlete can get adapted to the running style by using the screen and using the biofeedback system. The high-end solution in biomechanics is surely a treadmill of that size, the Pulsar 3P, in combination with the 3D force measurement system. The complete treadmill sits on 4 sensors, but still it's a single belt. That's a big advantage to use a single belt treadmill with 3D force instrumentation, because your athlete can easily and normally run on the treadmill without watching hitting certain platforms that you normally have with other 3D force treadmills. It can be combined with an elevation module, and some biomechanical labs, they also want to make it movable, because normally this treadmill is mounted to the flooring to be very stiff and bulky and rigid, to give good signals for the 3D measurement. As you can see on the right bottom side, and it can be also combined with the same pressure distribution platform that you saw previously in the previous slide. So it's the only treadmill actually worldwide that measures 3D forces in combination with a pressure distribution platform, and also with the option of an elevation module. It is compatible with other mocap systems, for example, Qualisys or Vicon, and it has, of course, data output either analog or digital, and it can be perfectly synchronized with other mocap systems, and it also offers a trigger function. And of course, it also has a biofeedback function and a report function. So this is surely one of the high-end solutions in biomechanics. But as said, it's the same treadmill that can be used as well for performance diagnostics, or even for a return to play or sports rehab. So it's exactly the same treadmill, but on 3D forces. So it's a multi-purpose treadmill, basically. So here you can see the combination of 3D force measurement and pressure distribution. The pressure distribution platform additionally offers you, of course, the possibility to evaluate, for example, pronation or supination or different foot shapes. So that's an additional advantage to the 3D force measurement. We have done one very interesting measurement. Okay, this is sorry, that's a video slide of a combination of many different external devices. So on the one side, you see the video synchronization. You see on the right hand side the pressure distribution on the pressure distribution platform. And on the left-hand side, you see on the top, you see the 3D forces, so X, Y, Z, as well as EMG values and IMU values. So that's a combination of many different measurement devices in one system, and that's surely something that in sports science is really unique. An interesting test that we did is, this is one of the best triathletes in the world. It's Patrick Lange. So he's a several Ironman champion in Hawaii, and I think he's still the world record holder. He was in our facility a couple of months ago, and they used it was a kind of trial and a test to use different shoes. In that regard, it was Adidas shoes, to see the different stiffness and behavior of those shoes while running. And that's what the video looks like. So right hand side, the video, in the middle you see the pressure distribution, and on the left hand side you see the 3D forces. And the difference between those two shoes, for example, can be easily seen here. So it was the RD0 Adios Pro and the Boston Adidas Boston shoe, and those are the differences between those shoes in different speeds. Also concerning the butterfly diagram, and also the 3D force curves. Not related to the Pulsar 3P, that was always the basis of those applications, is also the possibility, and that I would like to mention, that we have oversized treadmills, and we are grateful for having many oversized treadmills also in Australia. As soon as you as running is not the main application anymore, and you also want to test either cyclists or Paralympic athletes sitting in a wheelchair, or cross-country skiing or inline skating on a treadmill in a standard lab, in a standardized way, then a treadmill is a perfect tool to do this. Because, for example, with a bike ergometer, you can't simulate elevation, for example, and you can't simulate also keeping the balance on a bike on a treadmill. And those treadmills have a size of at least 3 meters in length, and the width of approximately 1 meter or 125. And obviously, the speed of those oversized treadmills will reach easily 80 kilometers per hour. So that's actually a kind of a real beast if you have ever seen a treadmill going that fast. I also would like to share a video with you. So of course, a wheelchair on a treadmill needs a special adaptation. So we use a wheelchair stabilizer to keep the wheelchair always on track in the same direction. The athletes are always normally should be connected and in a harness system with a safety arch. So they do the CPAT testings, but also motion analysis on the treadmill. This is for cycling, and for cycling, the treadmill has a couple of other features as well to make cycling possible on a treadmill. Especially a cooling system under the deck that takes out the heat, because you generate a lot of heat with those two wheels. This is cross country skiing in a classic style, and we can offer thicker belts to also stick really into the belt. This could be also interesting for example, sprinters that use spikes, for example. And this here is one of the biggest treadmills in the world that is used by national cross-country skiing teams. The last one has been sent out to the Olympics, Winter Olympic Games in China. This treadmill is 450 by 3 meter. and can reach 60 kilometers per hour. Oh, I was too fast, sorry. This is again the classic style. And here you will see the, as we call it, the beast. That's surely one of the biggest treadmills in the world. And it has a very thick belt that has a weight of around 800 kilograms, only the belt, to enable to really stick also into the belt. And this is someone running on this oversized treadmill. And there was the idea of having a challenge that's called last man standing. So this athlete is sponsored by Red Bull, and they are planning to run on the treadmill with several runners and with the goal of last man standing. But we're not sure whether this will be really reality, because that's could be quite dangerous, and we probably won't going to allow that. But I think it's interesting to see the size of that treadmill. Of course, at the end, I also wanted to emphasize that there is also a possibility. Of course, a couple of clients in sports science, they are using this as a kind of a running school. So they are using this high-speed treadmill in order to change the running style, or to correct the running style. So it's not only about doing the analysis and the assessment of runners. Of course, they assess it, but they want to change the running style of those athletes. And in Europe, there is one running school that has approximately more than 100 running schools already in Germany, for example, and I think one in Australia. And they're popping up like mushrooms, because running is becoming a really people sport. And so, and a lot of runners, they have knee problems, they have Achilles tendon problems. So they are trying to improve the running style of recreational runners, but of course as well of professional runners. So then you have like before and after video recordings, and they focus very much on avoiding landing in front of center of gravity, and having the right arm swing, and having the right leg swing. To make a conclusion on the session, we wanted to emphasize that treadmills can be configured in many different ways, starting from performance diagnostics to sports rehab, to gait and motion analysis with different instrumentation. And the basis was basically always the same treadmill, but in different configurations. Okay, I like to thank you for your attention, and if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate, or directly contact, of course, our local partner in Australia. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for that, Alex. We actually have had a couple of questions come through, if you don't mind answering those for us. They're basically the same question, but first one is, do you have a showroom in Australia? And is there anywhere that we can actually take our athletes and test them on your machines?
I would definitely say yes, we have showroom, and we do not only have one showroom. I think we have many different showrooms, and there is no better showroom than a certified customers. A certified customer. So as said, not only oversized treadmills are heavily used in Australia, but also especially this Pulsar 3P treadmill. But I would like maybe after the session, if our partner Matt or Andrew or Jeff can get in touch with the audience to provide some more information on the reference centers. But as I said, not only the Australian Institute of Sports, Victorian, Tasmanian Institute of Sports, but also a lot of sports universities are using our 3P treadmill, the high-speed treadmill.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for that. I'll make that connection. Thanks again, Alex. So I must admit, I have me and the treadmill don't have a great relationship, but it was awesome to hear some of the insights around what you guys are doing in that space, and found it really interesting. So thanks again. Thanks again for being partners of our of the summit. We appreciate it, and I know the audience certainly do. So thanks, mate. I'll let you go either to bed. You did say earlier you normally be at a pub, so you can go to the pub or you can go to bed. But yeah, thanks for your time all the way over in Germany.
Thank you very much, Sam. Bye-bye. Take care.
Good on you. See ya.